From its Iron Age beginnings, when it was known as Verulamium, the later Roman settlement of Verulamium expanded to become the third largest town in Roman Britain. Yet despite two devastating fires, the town of Verulamium remained an important Roman site. After the Roman withdrawal from Britain in the 5th century, Verulamium as a large town declined over the following centuries, but only gradually. What saved the town of Verulamium from being completely destroyed or abandoned was that a local man, Albans, was martyred in or around the town of Verulamium at some time in the 3rd century. Albans, now St. Albans, was executed for holding true to the new religion, Christianity, that was sweeping across the Roman world. And so by his death, St. Alban became the first Christian martyr in Britain, and the place of his death became venerated by the Church. Before the Roman conquest of Britain, the area was known as Verulamium, from the Celtic meaning the settlement in the marsh. The Iron Age peoples who lived in Verulamium were certainly not isolated from the rest of Britain, or indeed that of the Roman world. The local big men and women of Verulamium enjoyed luxury imported produce from the Roman world, such as figs, olives, grapes and wine. Verulamium, although in a marsh, was nevertheless a prosperous place. The remains of a large granary evidences large-scale agricultural activity, and so food security for the local populace. Outward trade for the residents of Verulamium came in the form of prisoners who were caught in battle and then sold on as slaves. When Julius Caesar came to Britain on his second visit in 54 BC, the Roman army's advance was opposed by the Catiline tribe, led by their chief Cassivellaunus. The Catiline tribe, prior to the arrival of Caesar's forces, were not on good terms with the other British tribes. Indeed, one motive for Caesar's coming to Britain was that Mandubracius of the Trinovantes, who had been exiled from Britain by Cassivellaunus, hoped to reclaim his power through assisting the Roman invasion. Caesar did restore Mandubracius as the chief of the Trinovantes, and in thanks, Mandubracius persuaded the Senimagni, Segontiaci, Ancalites, Bibroci and Cassi tribes to become loyal to Rome. The Catiline were not without friends, however, and when the Roman army pinned down Cassivellaunus and his men, the Catiline were soon assisted by the Cingetorix, Carvilius, Taximagulus and Segovax tribes. Yet despite the native army outnumbering the Roman legions, the British were unable to defeat the Roman army in open field combat. In resignation, Cassivellaunus surrendered to Caesar. The fate of Cassivellaunus thereafter is unknown, but it is known that his successor, Tasciovanus, retained the Catiline tribal centre at Verulamium. Tasciovanus appears to have remained as the leader of the Catiline for the next 50 years, being succeeded by Canoblin in about the year 10 AD. Since Caesar's invasion, Rome had had little direct intervention in British affairs, and certainly seemed to take no heed when the Catiline, now led by Canoblin, moved against the Trinovantes. Canoblin was successful in defeating the Trinovantes and subsequently moved his tribal centre from Verulamium to Camulodunum, modern-day Colchester. Although the Trinovantes had been in league with Rome, Canoblin's attack did not cause Rome into any reaction. Rome's lack of interest confirms its lack of care for British affairs. Canoblin's successors, his sons Togidumnus and Caratacus, were however less cautious in stirring the wrath of Rome. Apart from intertribal tensions across Britain, the British had begun raiding Roman territory across the English Channel in Gaul. Although only small-scale raiding, any incursion into their lands was not tolerated by Rome, and in 43 AD Emperor Claudius launched what would be the Roman invasion and eventual conquest and occupation of Britain. Knowing that the Catiline would prove the most hostile, the Roman army made for Camulodunum and there established their headquarters. When the Roman army arrived in Verulamium, it appears that far from being resisted, the town submitted to Rome, possibly knowing that resistance was not only futile but probably terminal. With Verulamium now under Roman jurisdiction, the town's name was Romanised to Verulamium. Rome's priorities, once the country was under their control, lay not with actively Romanising the populace at large, but rather to ensure an efficient bureaucratic system, notably centred around taxation and quelling any dissent towards Rome. To ensure both of these factors, Rome installed local leaders as client kings. These leaders swore loyalty to Rome in return for Roman protection. The discovery of a kingly burial in Verulamium testifies to the local rulers acquiescing to Roman governance.